What happens when a man with a long criminal history, ranging from cocaine trafficking in Florida to credit card fraud in Texas, stands before a judge, pleading for mercy over one of the most disturbing charges imaginable? This is the case of Pete Garcia, a defendant with over 15 years of criminal baggage, now facing the consequences of indecency with a child. With victims demanding justice, the prosecution lays out a devastating timeline of past offenses and chilling accusations. But Garcia has a different story, claiming he's reformed with a mortgage, a steady job, and a future to lose. The courtroom turns electric when victim testimony reveals the trauma left behind. And in the final moments, the judge delivers a powerful statement that stuns the courtroom. Stay tuned as we break down the legal twists, emotional reactions, and a sentence that might leave you speechless.
Court is calling 2022 CR 6930, State of Texas versus Pete Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Daniel De La Garza for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Garcia? You entered a plea on December 5th to count 1 of guilty. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is opposing your application. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 8852 and 2023 CR 8851. And there is to be restitution, if any, to the complainants in each of those cause numbers. No contact with the complainant, and Chapter 62 compliance. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, are there any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
None from the state, Your Honor.
All right, state you are opposed.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state would just like to begin when looking at the PSI, this individual had cases out of, I believe it's Manatee County, Florida, put on probation for a drug offense, 28 grams to 150 kilograms.
Just 1 second, I'm sorry. Probation?
Yes, Judge.
On this case, I don't have the PSI report in the email.
Judge, my apologies.
That's okay. Thank you. Just give me 2 minutes.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Let's unpack what the state just laid out, because it's heavy. Pete Garcia didn't just make one mistake. His record spans multiple states and serious charges. In Florida, he faced 2 separate probations for drug trafficking and racketeering investment fraud. Then, in Texas, he was sentenced in 2019 for tampering with a government record and unauthorized use of a vehicle. These aren't petty offenses. They paint a picture of a pattern: fraud, manipulation, and disregard for legal boundaries. The prosecution's goal here is clear. They're not just arguing against probation. They're building a case that Garcia is a repeat offender who's unfit for mercy.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This individual was placed on probation on 2 different occasions out of Manatee County, Florida, once in 2006 for 28 grams to 150 kilograms of cocaine charge. Also 2007 out of Manatee County, Florida for use of investment proceeds from racketeering. That's 2 separate instances of probation outside of the state of Texas. Within the state, within Barrett County, there was this individual was transferred to TDC and sentenced in 2019 with tampering of a government record. Also 2019, unauthorized use of a motor-propelled vehicle. Again, sentenced, transferred to TDC on both of those. The victim in the credit card abuse case said in the PSI, quote, "I'm not okay with probation. I want."
This is where the courtroom starts to burn with raw emotion. The victims don't just want justice, they want protection. One victim calls Garcia an egregious violator of the law, pleading for him to go to jail forever if possible. Another, who suffered indecency as a child, reveals she now has PTSD, nightmares, and fears of being alone. These aren't just statements, they're cries for safety. And when someone says, "I get scared to go to sleep," that tells you the impact. Isn't just legal, it's psychological, lifelong and deep.
To do time, I'm sure he will do it to someone else. I don't think probation is the solution. He will do it again. He will do this to someone else. The victim in the fraudulent use or possession of an ID case said, quote, "I'm absolutely not okay with him applying for probation. I just want him to go to jail forever if possible. He is an egregious violator of the law." So that's with respect to those two cases, Your Honor, that were taken into consideration. And the instant case, the indecency with a child by contact, as mentioned in the STIPs, a short 2 or 3 sentences from the report. Juvenile Jalissa Leone told her mother that Pete Garcia fondled her breast and nipples on 10 separate occasions. She stated the incidents occurred when she was 11 years old, while Pete Garcia resided at the residence. Juvenile Jalissa Leone did tell one of the interviewers that it never went further than that, but that Pete Garcia told her, quote, "Don't tell your mother," when the incidents occurred. Your Honor, in the PSI, this would be victim number 3, Your Honor, again, with respect to the indecency. When questioned, that victim said, if you just give the state one quick moment, Your Honor. Again, victim Jalissa Leone said, quote, "I want him to take some accountability. I don't want probation for him. I suffer from really bad PTSD now because of this incident. I get scared to go to sleep because I have really bad dreams. I get scared to be alone with certain people because I never know what could happen." And Your Honor, I think the word there that of course sticks out to me from the victim in our case, the indecency, the incident case, I should say, is that accountability. And to kind of in summation, if you will, Your Honor.
One word keeps echoing in this courtroom: accountability. Prosecutors know that in cases involving sexual misconduct, especially involving minors, the court needs to see remorse and ownership. But when Garcia said, "I need to continue with the life I was living," that lit a fire under the state's case, because the life he was living is exactly why he's here. His lack of remorse, his unwillingness to talk about it, and his attempt to distance himself from the past only strengthen the prosecution's argument that he hasn't truly changed.
The final point is when the defendant, speaking to the accountability, when the defendant was questioned about why he feels he should be granted probation, he told them, quote, "I need to continue with the life I was living." Well, the life he was living, Your Honor, caused all of this harm in Bexar County alone, and of course, criminal offenses stretching back over 15 years. When asked, the defendant said, quote, "I don't want to talk about this right now. I wasn't consuming alcohol or drugs on the date of offense." A lack of accountability and wanting to go back to the life he lived, as if somehow not being under the influence of drugs makes any of this conduct okay, Your Honor. The state respectfully believes that this individual is not qualified or suited, again, under the eyes of the state for probation.
All right, defense.
Just briefly, Your Honor, he definitely does take accountability. He does take responsibility for what happened, and he'll be happy to tell you that if you'd like to ask him. But the point
Does he
is that
want to testify?
you want to tell the judge that you're sorry.
Here's the thing, before you begin, if you want to testify, you're going to be placed under oath and the state will have a chance to cross-examine. So do you wish to testify?
Now this is a moment. Garcia chooses to testify under oath. This is high-stakes stuff, because once he's sworn in, the prosecution has every right to tear into his claims. This decision could be his chance to show remorse or completely unravel. And right as he prepares to speak, the judge has to eject someone from the courtroom for causing a distraction. That tension, that chaos, it only adds to the intensity of what's about to unfold.
Be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, you can lower your name, lower your hand and state your name for the record.
Pete Garcia.
All right, Mr. Garcia, just one moment. Mr. De Leon,
Yes, Your Honor.
let me know if you need to go for your jury trial?
I don't really want to go that bad, but I appreciate it.
All right, just let me know. All right, we may continue. All right, defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, hold on. I'm gonna ask you some questions, all right? So first off, you know that you've pleaded guilty to the indecency case, right?
Yes,
And then you've taken responsibility also for the credit card theft and the fraud cases, right? For lack of a better term.
yes, come 100%. I just want to pay back the restitution.
I'm sorry, you need to speak up.
I just want to give a chance to pay back the restitution, Your Honor. The last 3 years of my life, for once, I have a good paying job. I just signed a 30-year mortgage 8 months ago. My life is finally on track. And, this incident happened in 2016, 2017. 7 years later, it came up. And I do take full responsibility of all my actions. I do.
So let me ask you, when you say all your actions, are you talking about the case that you have pleaded guilty to, the sex offense, for lack of a better term?
Yes.
And you're talking about the cases that the judge will take into.
Here comes Garcia's emotional pitch. He pleads for a chance to continue his normal life, talks about a 30-year mortgage, a good job, and no minor children at home. But here's the twist. He's asking for deferred adjudication, no conviction if he behaves. That's a big ask for someone convicted of indecency with a child. The question we all have to ask, does a job and a house cancel out years of damage and trauma to others? What do you think should past stability outweigh past crimes?
I mean, by grown, how old's the youngest?
21.
Okay. And do they have children?
Yes, my son does.
Okay, now if the court will order you to have no contact with minor children, is that something that you'll abide by, first off?
Yes.
Then second of all, you're going to have all kinds of conditions that you need to abide by, such as the sex offender counseling, maintaining employment, reporting to probation. Are you going to do all that stuff?
100% complete. Yes.
And then where are you going to go back to work?
At Halliburton.
What's that?
It's a oil and gas company.
What do you do there?
I'm a CDL driver. I deliver frac sands.
And if your CDL license is suspended or you lose that, where would you go work at that point? Let's just say.
It's a family member that works there. I would be working as a laborer.
And then now the judge is going to give you, can give you up to 8 years in prison or deferred adjudication for up to 10 years. What are you asking to happen?
Judge, I'm asking for the 10 years and just to give me that chance to pay back this restitution. And I just, for one time, I have a normal life. I accept everything that I did. I just want to move forward. I finally have it, and I feel like everything's going to get taken away, but I do accept full responsibility, man. I do. I just want that chance to pay back, give them what they're asking for, the restitution, and just move on with my life.
That's the witness, right?
All right, state.
Just a couple of questions, Your Honor. Were you aware that when the complainant first outcried, the reason the outcry happened when it did is because she was having frequent and violent sexual dreams? Were you aware of that?
No, I have had no contact with.
This is the moment the prosecution flips the emotional tables. They suggest the only reason Garcia's actions came to light was because the victim started having violent dreams years later. The question they hit him with is brutal. If she hadn't spoken out, would you have ever admitted anything? Garcia stumbles, tries to show accountability, but the damage is done. That hesitation, that doubt, it reinforces the prosecution's claim that this man only reacts when he's caught.
Them in 7 going on 8 years.
And if she hadn't had such violent dreams, there's reason to believe that she wouldn't have outcried. If she wouldn't have, would you have done something to take accountability for your actions, confess or do other actions or take other actions to take responsibility for the double-digit number of times that there was the touching of the breast with your hands?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
And I apologize. To put it simply, if she had never outcried, would you have found a way to take accountability for your actions?
If there was something said, then of course, 100% would. I do take accountability for my actions. And like I said, it's been almost 8 years. I have not heard anything until recently. So of course, yes, I 100%.
Wait a second, $155,000? That's what one complainant initially claimed in restitution. But here's where it gets technical. The judge realizes the bank reimbursed them for that amount, meaning Garcia likely owes zero restitution. In this instance, this moment reveals the complexity of financial justice where perception, documentation, and legal interpretation collide. The judge's careful breakdown shows how courts navigate murky money trails with precision. Still, even with the financial weight off his shoulders, the real burden is yet to come.
To this, I don't think he's responsible for the entirety of the $15,000 if the bank, and it appears from what I'm reading, the bank has given him back the $15,000.
Yes, Your Honor. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
So I don't have a restitution amount for that.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that is correct. I see exactly what the court is saying, and yeah, I don't believe there would be any restitution remedy available.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court will deny your application. Does anybody want to speak to the cap? The court is going to find you guilty. Anyone want to speak to the cap of 8 years?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Well, just Your Honor, we would ask that he, based upon the fact that he has taken responsibility and that he has, done his best to make amends for what he's done, that we ask that you hit somewhere below the cap. And I would leave that up to the court's wise judgment, but I would ask somewhere below the 8 years.
All right. All right, Mr. Garcia, I want to let you know that I read the entirety of the PSI report. I read the police report. And I've seen the ages of the complainant, the age of the complainant in this case. That's an issue for the court. You understand? All right. The court will find you guilty, sentence you to a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent, taking consideration 2023 CR 8852, 2023 CR 8851. There's to be Chapter 62 registration, no contact with the complainant, and either of the cause numbers. The court.
And there it is, 8 years in prison, the maximum sentence allowed under the plea agreement. The judge didn't buy the redemption arc, didn't ignore the past. Instead, he delivers a powerful final message. Sometimes what we've done catches up with us. That line, it hits hard. Garcia might have moved on, but the court made it clear when you hurt others, especially children, you don't just get to walk away with a clean slate.
Will sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, true.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So off the record, I understand that people have regrets about things that they've done in their past. And sometimes we hope that our past won't come back and bite us, right? Because you moved on with your life. I understand it as you're working. I know that that job you had was a great job. I know you have the 30-year mortgage. But when offenses and crimes happen, you have to answer for those. And at some point, what we've done catches up with us. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, okay?
On time
This courtroom
served.
drama had
Don't
everything
forget
drama,
to like and
tension,
subscribe, set your
testimony, and a
notifications to
powerful
all.
verdict. Pete
Let's
Garcia's
roll,
past finally caught up
nerds.
with him, and the emotional weight of victim testimony made all the difference. In the end,
Hello, good
the
morning.
court prioritized justice over comfort.
All right. I believe
delivered
this
the
is family
maximum sentence.
violence.
What do you
Over
think?
here now, right?
Did the
Yes.
judge make the right call? Drop your thoughts in the comments
And
below.
Mr.
And if you found
DeLeon,
this case
you
as
need to go
shocking
to
as we
another
did,
court for your jury
make sure to
trial.
hit that like
Eventually, but I have
button,
another
share this
matter.
video with a friend.
All right, whenever
and
you're
don't
ready,
forget
let
to
us know.
subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
Court is
We've got
calling
more real stories,
2022
real people,
CR
real justice coming your way.
6930